Hey everybody, welcome back to Strategy in Small Doses. We have another amazing guest expert with us today, and I'm so excited to introduce you to Megan Winkler and chat with her. But first, let me take a quick minute, of course, to give you her full bio and introduce her, and then I am going to pass the mic because I want her to share all about her amazingness in her own words as well. So Megan Winkler is a spiritual business and marketing coach who works with soulful entrepreneurs to build sustainable, authentic, and energetically aligned businesses. She's known as the Good Business Witch and has a podcast with the same name. Megan incorporates strategy and spirituality to create one-of-a-kind business and marketing plans for her clients through her proven client attraction circles framework. She's worked with award-winning architects, physicians, and multiple Fortune 500 companies. Megan holds a master's in military history and is currently pursuing her MBA with a concentration on women's leadership. Megan lives in North Texas with her partner, Mike, their teenage daughter, Emma, and some very temperamental houseplants. Yes, to the temperamental houseplants. I'm like forever talking to mine, like, what the heck? You were just doing so good yesterday. All of a sudden, are you so sad?
Right?
Megan, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Michelle. I so appreciate it. I am a bubbly personality. I am an extrovert. I am one of those people that I love mentioning in my bio that I've worked with Fortune 500 companies and consult with physicians and architects and all that, because I think people have this image of a kind of marketing person that's going to work with those types of companies and firms and whatnot. And then they talk to me and they're like, wait a second, that's totally different. So I'm big on academics, I'm big on strategy, I'm big on numbers, but I'm also huge on spirit and heart and connection and relationships.
I love it. I love it. And I think there's such a beautiful blend of both, to be able to bring both of those in, to have both, to be able to see from both perspectives and both sides. It just creates such an amazing, like you said, energetically just aligned. I really firmly believe in that alignment. So anyways, let's dive right in. Speaking of business, so I know you do a lot of marketing and strategy. What would be your number one tip for business growth or professional personal growth for our listeners based on what you see in your industry?
Yeah. So for me, it is creating connections. So it is developing a relationship marketing strategy. So really that starts with, who do you know? Who are your present and your former clients? Who are your colleagues? Who are the people that serve the same kind of people that you serve, maybe the same industry, that sort of thing, and how can you work together? I'm big on community over competition, and I really truly believe that there's enough business and enough clients for all of us, and if we work together, we have happier clients, we have clients that stick around longer, and there's clients that feel seen, and you can do that through a relationship marketing strategy. You can also do that through your social media, just really being yourself, connecting with people on a more personal level, and building that like, know, and trust factor through genuine, authentic connection.
Yeah, and I talk a lot about this too, and I think that's one of the reasons why we probably get along so well. But think even just the way we connected was through social media, through a networking group, just a general reach out. And it's just amazing when you actually take the time. And I love that you brought up about, bringing in your personality. I always say that. It's so funny because the first thing you say when you're like, well, share more about your life. So many people are like, well, nobody cares what I'm eating for lunch. And it's like, that is such an old school thought process of what Facebook and social media originally was. But if you are in health and wellness and the food you eat are part of your brand and the part of what is going to connect people to you, then yeah, I do care about what you're eating for lunch. Inspire me, share it with me. There's so many ways to really make that connection. What do you feel like? I'm going to throw you a little curveball here, but what is your favorite way to connect with people through whether it's social or in person?
Yeah, I love to have what I call hallway conversations. And this term kind of came up when my partner and I were chatting about the value of him going to in-person meetings or conferences, all that, obviously pre-COVID. And it was not so much, being in the conference room and like being all official, but it was like the side hallway conversations that you have walking between sessions. And so we have the opportunity to have those hallway conversations in Messenger, so in the DMs. I went to a retreat back in August, and it was of business owners and for business owners, but it was just basically like a sleepover. There were like 9 of us. We all have the same coach. And I made so many connections there, sipping a glass of wine with a friend or sitting out by the pool, that sort of thing, in these non-official ways. So I love that we have like the forward-facing marketing and sales efforts that are like social media, even newsletters, all that. But I love in my emails that I send out to my clients to say, just reply back, just hit reply. It comes directly to me. You're getting me. And I'll have little side conversations. And that, I think, is really where that connection begins and thrives.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually have somebody who sends out probably like one of the best newsletters, and they're the best newsletters because they're so personal. They're full of like her stories. They're full of her getting stuck in the mud, doing something weird, but she always incorporates it into some kind of business lesson and she always says like, please reply back. Like, did this resonate with you? Have you ever been in my situation? And it really does, like, I feel like I know her, even though I've never ever met her. I've only really spoken to her a couple times, but I'm on her email list and she sends the most genuine emails out, and it just makes such a big difference. So yeah, the power of that just personal connection, I think, is so important. We become business owners and entrepreneurs, and all of a sudden it's like we no longer have any personality, like we don't share about the personal things. We're so used to just talking about business, but like you said, it's those side conversations that are just the absolute best. I was thinking about pre-COVID when we could go to conferences. I met this young guy in the line at Starbucks. We were just waiting in line at Starbucks. We had the best conversation. I follow him on Instagram, and he's just so inspiring. And I would have never met him if I hadn't just started talking to him in the line at Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love stories like that. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's so fun. All right, so we're all about action. You like to take action. What is an action item in regards to that connection? If people are feeling like, how do I do this? Like, how do I take action on making these connections? How do I have these hallway conversations online? What is one action that somebody could take right now if they're listening to this to really help to increase those connections for them?
Yeah. So one of my favorite places to start is grab a pen and paper, sit down and write down your last 5 to 10 clients or customers, and then write down right next to them how you met them, how they came to you, that sort of thing. Like, were they a referral? Was it through social media? Was it a DM? That sort of thing. And then kind of group those together and figure out, like, is there something that's overwhelmingly standing out? Like, do you really close sales in your DMs, or do you really close sales via referrals? Start there. And then based on those results, move forward with making those connections. So for instance, if it's referral based, then start thinking about all the people you could ask for referrals. And that feels super awkward. But if you really turn it into a situation where you're giving some value and then just saying, hey, if you happen to know anybody that would be, benefit from this, please let me know. I'd love for you to connect the two of us. It makes it really easy for them. If it's something like, you're connecting with people over the DMs, it's like, go through your DMs and figure out, like, when's the last time you were chatting with somebody that is your ideal client? Did they say they loved your, wacky dance in Instagram stories or whatever, right? Or like loved your coffee, or like you were saying, even your lunch. Just reach out and say, hey, how's it going? How's business? How's life? How are the kids? All that. It doesn't always have to be about sales, and it doesn't always have to be about closing the sale. I really hate that whole Glenn Ross thing where it's like, always be selling, it's like, no, always be connecting, because through the connection, that's when the sales come.
Exactly. Yeah. I always say, like, just continue the conversation. right? Like it's no different. If you were calling a friend, think about if you hadn't talked to a friend in a long time, you can pick up the conversation regardless, or you see something, just carry on those conversations. But I love the tip for actually making a list, right? Like using the data that's in front of you. I think this is something that a lot of people probably don't do. They don't really know how to do it. And this is an incredibly easy way to just go through your client list and see. And honestly, if you really don't know, then that's a good, that's a nice tip right there in itself. Start finding a way to track that. But just looking at your list, do you know where your clients are coming from and how can you do more of it?
Yeah.
I love that list. It's really, really amazing. Thank you so much for that tip. Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would just say that's a wonderful tool if you are feeling like kind of mired in the day-to-day stuff. If you feel like you're not, gaining clients, if you're not bringing in the leads that you think you should be, just take that step back and look at that list. Because anytime I have done that personally, or I've asked my clients to do that, it's always this light bulb moment. It's, oh, I am actually really good at gaining clients through this avenue. And we get so caught up in we've got to be everywhere all the time, all at once. And it's like, no, you need to be the place that it works. And it's going to be different for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Awesome. Megan, how can people work with you or get a hold of you? Obviously, we will always make sure we have all of your links to your social and to your website. I know you have a podcast as well that they can listen to, The Good Witch, right? It's called
The Good Business Witch.
Yeah. The Good Business Witch. I'm sorry. The Good Business Witch podcast. And but how can you have a new program launching soon, correct?
I do.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit.
For sure. So yeah, The Good Business Witch is my podcast that is on Apple, Spotify, Google, all that. You can also find me. I have kind of two hubs on the internet. One is my Instagram profile. My main Instagram profile is at the Megan Winkler. And you can also find me at meganwinkler.com. And in both of those places, you can find links to my client attraction circles, my podcast, The Good Business Witch website, all that. But yeah, here in November, I am relaunching Marketing with Soul. That is my signature program. I launched it back in 2020, and I'm so excited to get it going again this year. It's actually going to be a 6-month program where we're working together through all of your marketing, all of your sales, really shifting your mindset, creating content. It was an absolutely magical experience. Last time we did it, it was 12 weeks and everyone wanted to continue. So I'm like, well, here we go.
Exactly.
But I'm with you the whole way. It is a live course. It is not anything pre-recorded. And we have implementation calls as well and little mini workshops throughout. So that is just a fantastic experience. And you can find out all about that on my website, meganwinkler.com.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Is it a group program, I assume?
It is. Yeah, it is awesome. A group program.
That's awesome. And that starts in November in 6 months. So what an incredible way to end the year, start the new year. What a great time. So definitely check that out. Marketing and sales. What else? Who would it be the best fit for that?
Yeah. So the best fit for that would be coaches and service providers, people who don't necessarily want to hire somebody to do their marketing and sales because they're so personally involved with the process, or somebody who is looking to eventually hire somebody but wants to make sure they understand everything. It's a really great time and place to kind of dive into your brand story, into your messaging, all that. So at the end of the 6 months, you're going to have just an overall basically playbook for your brand, for your marketing. And we're not waiting until the 6 months is up. We start marketing with soul and selling with soul from day one. And so we're working through this progress. And I love that it's a 6-month time frame, because I always tell my new clients, come on to start working with me. It's it takes 4 to 6 months to really get a marketing strategy up and rolling. Marketing's a long game. And, you have me and you have a group of like-minded people there with you to encourage you, to support you. It's so supportive. It is so awesome and creative. And wholesome, and you'll just make lifelong friends.
Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. I love being able to just be in a community with other like-minded is so empowering. But that's a fellow extrovert in us, right? Like we just thrive on that human connection. But I'm sure that there's introverts in there as well that, can really benefit from that. So awesome, Megan. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Do you have any last minute thoughts or anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, thank you again so much. This has been so fun to chat with you as always. And I would just leave everyone with the message of when in doubt, see where you can connect with your people, your current clients, your previous clients, your future clients, and just be yourself, be human, because we love to work with people that we like.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan, for being here. I cannot wait to continue to connect further with you, and your amazing program sounds so awesome. So please make sure you click the link in the comments, go check out her podcast, check out her website, reach out to her, connect with Megan if you want to learn more or just have a conversation. And I really appreciate you being here with me today. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.